It's so good to have everybody on the show tonight. Ebo, hi, how are you doing? You look so
I'm doing
beautiful
awesome. Thank
tonight.
you. Doing awesomely well.
Yes, I
Happy
think
New
it's
Year,
best.
guys. Thank you for always joining.
Yes. Thank you so much. And we have someone amazing in the house tonight. I'm so excited, to have her here. Ebo, I think you can check your phone. I just sent her profile to you. Oh,
Mm.
okay. I hope we can have Ebo back. Okay, but before Ebo comes on to read your profile, so on the Balanced Me show, we talk about everything that has to do with life, that has to do with love, and just have conversations generally, encouraging people and our audience to continue to learn, to continue to unlearn, and to relearn, to be in that state of growth, from time to time. So that's what we do on the Balanced Me show. Everyone is in the background. I hope I can add her. Oh, okay. She's in, but seems she's not in.
I'm in. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but
Yes,
can't
we
see
can hear
you.
you. We can see you.
You've turned to invisible woman.
I'm actually. So, can you see me now?
Yes,
Yes,
you
we
can.
can.
Yes, I'm actually trying to get Mommy Mo's because I am streaming from my phone and
Ooh,
my laptop is not. So, you will have to read the profile
that's fine.
today.
That's fine. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have an amazing woman in the house. Each time I have conversations with her, it's always refreshing, it's always um, insightful, and we just thought she's the best person to take tonight's, topic, the power of the growth mindset. Let me just read her profile. Very short, but very thick. So I have Modupe Ehirim, the founder of and the lead counselor at the Right Fit Marriage Academy. She works with men and women to become persons that their spouses look forward to coming home to. Modupe guides young professionals to intentionally design and build healthy and long lasting marriages. She is a certified SIMBIS, Save Your Marriage Before It Starts facilitator. She's also a certified family systems engineering practitioner. She is the author of Marriage is Not a Trap, a book which helps its readers to gain deeper insights into what makes marriage work. Modupe graduated with first class honors in chemical engineering from University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, in 1980. She has varied work experiences in the Nigerian civil service and managing her own businesses. She is the immediate past president of the Network of Family Systems Engineering Practitioners. Modupe is an avid reader. Yes, I can testify. A passionate is passionate about relationships and marriages. She mentors young people, aiding them to chart their lives' paths. Of Yoruba origin, she is happily married to Boniface, her husband of over 37 years, who hails from Imo State. Together, they have four lovely children, and I am one adopted one. You forgot me, and I
I
think we are
think I should actually add that to my profile now. Numerous adopted
and
children.
numerous adopted children. Yes, thank you so much, Mommy Mo, for coming on the show. But please, can you just welcome Mommy Mo? in a very balanced me way.
Mommy Mo, we are so excited to have you in the house today. Thank you. And that was amazing. First class in what did you say? It's chemical engineering. Oh
Sharing.
my God. Oh my God. Mommy Mo, you must be a genius, right? No
She
wonder
is.
you're still adding and adding and challenging us to it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for leading us well. Thank you so much for being a good example. We have very few older women we can look up to in our society these days. And I will say that you're one of those people that challenges younger women to want to do more. Thank you very much for all you do. And thank you for accepting to be here this evening. You're
Thank
welcome, Ma.
Thank you very much, Ayodeji and Ebu. Now my head is really
Swollen.
swollen. My husband is going to wonder what happened to it.
Thank you.
Please, Mommy Mo, enjoy it. Please let
I,
it swell because I'm not trying to flatter you at all. It is what it is. You're really trailblazing and you keep doing it every day. Thank you very
Yes.
much, Ma.
Yes. And
Thank
I think
you.
that's the word. She keeps
Yes.
doing it every day. Every day.
Mm-hmm.
You just, mommy Mo just threw something up. And I'm like, this woman. So it's every day mommy Mo challenges us, encourages us, to be the best version of ourselves. And when we're coming up with this topic, we're like, who else,
Mm,
can we call to talk on the power of growth mindset? Mommy Mo,
mm,
because she's much older than us, but she keeps learning. She keeps attending
mm-hmm,
courses. She keeps reading.
mm,
So we just want her to shed more light, on this concept of growth mindset. And I did a little bit of research, before we came on. The growth mindset was conceived by a lady called Carol Dweck, a Stanford University psychologist, and according to her, a growth mindset can be adopted as one chooses to see challenges and difficulties as opportunities for growth and for learning. She says this can be done by changing the way one thinks about abilities and intelligence, embracing challenges, viewing mistakes as opportunities to learn, and seeking out feedback to improve oneself. So this is what this person said,
mm.
and I'd just like to ask Mommy Mo, what's your what do you think about growth mindsets from you? How would you explain that to us? Let's forget all this Turinchi I've read.
One of my popularly accepted nicknames is that I'm a market woman. And I got that name because whatever it is I know or read about, I like to ask myself, how will a market woman understand it? You know, so that's what I see.
Mm,
Growth mindset simply means somebody who has a mindset that is willing to learn and is open to change. That's all. Willing, anybody who has a mind that is willing to learn and is open to change, that exactly is what growth mindset is all about.
Okay, good. So someone who is willing to change. There are some people you'll
So
meet
willing to
and they'll tell
learn
you,
and open to change.
willing to learn and
willing to
open to
learn and
change.
open to change. Yes, willing
Open
to
to
learn
change, yeah.
and open to change. There are some people that say, this is the way I've always been, and this is me, and nothing can change me. I'm like this. There's nothing you can do. What? We have people like that. What do you think, Ma?
Well, I think I have my parents to thank. There is something I tell people who are in my circles, and that is that what we show to children is very, very important. I grew up
Mm,
with a mother who was very adaptable. So for me as a person, the idea that this is who I am and so I am fixed, was not modeled at all in the home that I grew up in. The home that I grew up in, what was modeled for us is that things change around you and you've got to pay attention to the changes that are happening. And as you see the changes, then you ask yourself, how can I live with this change? That's how it is. So I give you an illustration. As a child, I went to university, and I'm the first person to go to university in my family. And I got to school, and one of my lecturers advised that the course I took was not the course I should be doing in undergraduate level, that I was already specializing. When I changed course and went home and told my parents, he said, well, we don't know much about this. If that is the way they are now doing it in the world, go and find out more about it and come back to us. So what I was exposed to is go find out what is happening. How are people doing it? My parents had wisdom, so they used their wisdom to guide me. But as for being exposed to what the changing circumstances were, and then, so for me, people who are fixated in that way, all it is simply showing you is that they have been exposed to the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is the one that says, this is who I am, this is how we have always done it, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be. Even though everything is changing around them, they think that other things should change to suits them, and they don't feel they have to change at all. So whenever you see people like that, be patient with them.
Mm.
Be patient with them, because if they really knew, they would not also be
Mm-hmm.
having such paradigms.
True.
I agree with you. Ebon, before you say, okay, let me allow you to talk, Ebon. Do you have anything to ask Mommy Mo?
Well, I don't really have much to say. It's just where she's going, that direction she's going into now, to say that the people with fixed mindset, if they also know, if they know better, they will want to do better. And it just gave me an idea of you raising a child now. The only environment the child knows is around you. And so the way you think, the way you reason will determine the way that child will do it. And by the time the child gets out of the house and the child stayed fixated to the method he knows, and that's where the patience you're talking about comes in, how that even the people with fixed mental disposition, because mindset is mental disposition about situation, right? So people with fixed mental disposition, it's not as if they really know. Maybe it's like in their blind spot. I also would not want to I would not also want to dispute the fact that there are some that they just want to be rigid. So, Mommy Mo, with this that I just said now, is it possible to also say that fixed mindset? How will I put it now? Because if they know, they will want to also make a change. And those stubborn ones, let me use the word stubborn in quotes, they are just maybe experience. You know how we say that experiences of life. And so your parent had already told you that don't allow anybody mess with you. You are you know, that kind of a thing. So this growth mindset thing, Mommy Mo, is it that we can use it to judge people? Can we use it to really judge people?
One of the things that has been very helpful to me, I read a lot, so I learned a lot of things which ordinarily one would not be
Reading.
exposed to. Yes. And
Mm,
one thing that I picked up along the way is something that is called the no-brainer gap.
mm,
No-brainer gap. So what no-brainer gap means is this. The first time that I had to be live like this, it was strange to me. And it was a lot of challenges for me. But I've been going live now for about 5 years. So if I meet somebody who is just learning how to go live now, if I'm the one who is showing them what to do, If I want to give them the instructions, I'll just say when they send you the invitation, get the link, click the link, go on it, and then, you'll be live. Now, what has happened to me is because I'm now an expert, because I'm now familiar, because I now know how to do it, I have forgotten the fright that comes the first time you go live. I have forgotten, how do you check the that your picture is doing okay? Are you sitting properly? I won't remember to tell that person. What happens to us as we grow and become experts in different areas of life is that we enter what is called the no-brainer gap. The no-brainer gap is me forgetting to tell the person I am teaching or I am trying to influence the small steps that I took before I arrived at my expertise. Now, for those of us who have the privilege of having been exposed to growth mindset, we forget that growth mindset did not come naturally to us. We just had the privilege of somebody who knew that you have to take the first step before you take the second step, before you take the third step, before you take the fourth step. And now growth mindset has become a lifestyle for us, particularly when we're looking at adults. When you see an adult, you tend to think this person is an adult, and immediately your mind makes assumptions that this person has all the skills of an adult. Now, if that person, up until the time they got to adulthood, were never exposed to growth mindset, it doesn't matter that they're an adult. They're still a child in that area. If you are an adult who already has a growth mindset and you forget about the no-brainer gap, when you are trying to engage with them and get them to embrace the growth mindset, you're not going to be remembering those difficult days when you started. And that's why it looks as if we lose them. Because, of course, when you are an adult and somebody is trying to tell you that you don't have something that you should have as an adult, defensiveness kicks in.
Indeed.
So anybody who genuinely has a growth mindset and who understands the no-brainer gap does not see anybody as stubbornly holding on to the fixed mindset. They just know that they are privileged to be a few kilometers ahead of the other people
Other
in their
people.
journey.
Mommy Mo, you said something very
Much for responding that way.
yeah.
Um, is that me? Is that my network
I think
or
it's your
Ayo's
network.
network?
Okay, now I don't know. Okay, I'm here. Mommy Mo, are you here?
I'm here too.
So, okay, I actually wanted to say something. Can I go ahead, Ebu?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. I could remember when I got married. My husband was pointing out quite a number of things to me. And in my head, I'm like, what's that? Because I grew up thinking I was a perfect child. And I remember I was still having the same conversation with my big brother sometimes last year. And he said, Ayodeji, but really, you were a perfect child. Because I didn't disturb anyone. I was the gentlest of all. I was just in my own world. For as many that know my
Hmm.
story, I was a child that was diagnosed with nephrotic syndrome quite early, and that changed or impacted my personality. So I went into my shell. So I just found myself very quiet. Say this is okay, it's okay. I won't argue with you. I'll just take it. But by the time I was married, I'd already gotten out of the disease, and I was already working, so I was getting a bit more exposed. So when my husband now says, "Ah, you're supposed to have done this," I will just look at us. My parents didn't tell me this. My siblings didn't tell me this. So where are you coming from, Mr. Man, and telling me that this is not supposed to be? So it took me a while. So I came into marriage with a fixed mindset.
I think Ayo froze.
Rose, I think so.
I think Ayo froze. Okay, talking about this fixed mindset, Momimo, like what Ayo was explaining now, what's coming to my mind is
It's
you
me.
froze, though. We lost you.
Yes, I felt. Yes, I don't know what happened. So after a while, I found out that Ayo, you are not a perfect child. You've got your flaws. You've got um, the things you need to work on. It took me a while. It took me a long while, to accept. But
So
eventually, I
I will.
accepted and I became better.
So from your explanation, it's good we're really having this conversation because it's really opening my mind to a lot of things. So for your own situation, it's kind of saying your map is not the territory.
Of course,
Exactly.
So we can use that to explain people boxing themselves up into I have a growth mindset, this person have a fixed mindset. To say that your map is actually not the territory. So Mommy Mo, how can we use that to we are marriage counselors and
Mhm.
I dabble into the parenting part. How can we bring this explanation into our career? I can see we have quite a number of family coaches in the audience, and this is really opening my eyes into seeing it in another way because the only way I see it was academics, children not wanting to learn more, children just close their mind to the fact that they can't make it. And it is because of where they're coming from. It is because of the environment where they're growing up from. So, how can we bring this learning and understanding into our practice?
That's a really great question that you have asked, Ebu. You know, first of all, everybody can bring this into their day to day life. How do you do that? Always remember that we're having this conversation now. If I say something that triggers you and makes you to feel, why are you wanting me to change my mind? You should
Mhm.
and ask yourself, hmm, is my experience the same as their own? Is my exposure the same as their own? Have we had the same upbringing? And once that is not so, then you've got to really listen again because we hear people through the filters of our own life experiences.
experiences.
Now, coming to work as family life practitioners, two things. Number one, when you start working with a client, be very quick to discern if they have a growth mindset. Don't let you look at them as people who don't want to change. Let it remind you that there are people who have not had sufficient exposure. Why do they say traveling widens the mind? Why do they say reading widens the mind? When I started watching Korean movies during the COVID-19,
COVID.
I shook. It shook me. Every day I keep saying, I turn to my husband and I say, I'm so grateful to God I was born in Nigeria. I'm so grateful to God I was born in Nigeria. Because all of a sudden, all of the things that I think Nigerian parents are very fastidious about became child's play compared to what I was seeing happening. In the Korean movies, I was seeing about how parents related with children. And even though I've never been to Korea, what happened to me, I immediately began to see that my map of the world about parenting is not the only one. And that
Yeah.
even though they're using different ways in Korea, they're still bringing up good children as well. So when you look at people, and I can't say that enough, don't be so quick to put a label on them that they have a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is not a personality trait, it's not something that we are stuck with. A fixed mindset is only showing you where the person is coming from. And so the work of the practitioner then becomes, how can I bypass conscious resistance and help this person to shift? So, for example, When I have a couple who comes to me and they're very unhappy and all of them are thinking my husband is the cause of the problem, that's not how my parents' marriage was. I have a story I share with them and I just say, it's very interesting that you are saying this. What if you were a fish that was born inside water and you have lived in water all your life? And now I come to marry you. And me, I've lived on land all my life. And we are so happy together. I say, I'm following you to go and live inside the water. Of course, what will happen to me when I get inside the water? I'm going to be thinking, how do I survive underwater? And I then ask the person who is the fish, I say, so what will your response be to me? They're at a loss. And usually they would say, you will breathe through your gills. Now, the thing is this, a person who has never lived inside water, do they know what gills are? They don't know.
You don't
Now,
even
so
have
if you are
gills.
labeling me with a fixed mindset, what you are saying is, how can you be saying you don't know what gill is? Before your very eyes, what will happen to me? I will take in water and I will die.
We die.
But because you don't want me to die, when I start looking at you blankly, it very quickly tells you that I don't know. No matter how fixed your mindset is, you have to start thinking differently from what you're thinking in order to save me who has come to live underwater with you. And when we go through that exercise, immediately, both the man and woman who are very rigidly thinking, Mommy Mo is supporting the woman, Mommy Mo is only listening to my husband, they suddenly see that Mommy Mo has no opinion. Both of them have to shift their minds. And if you do that repeatedly with people who are in constant touch with you, so instead of saying, how can you be thinking that way? What do you mean you cannot read a book? I mean, okay, so about 4 years ago, some young ladies told me that, to read through the Bible is a lot of work. You will get bored, everything. I didn't say anything. I said, well, you want to join me to read the Bible? And the first year they will moan, they will do, but because we just had a program, I wasn't asking any question, just speak. By the time we finished the second year, the third year, they were the people who said, which Bible plan are we going to use? What has happened to them? They have shifted from people who are thinking, there is nothing you can do to tell me I cannot read the Bible throughout the year, to become people who are reading the Bible throughout the year and who are inviting their friends to come and read through the Bible. So essentially, everybody who already has a growth mindset right now has to remember that they were shown the way. And they then ask themselves,
It's so amazing how the direction this topic is going, because it's just amazing seeing and knowing that it's a label to say growth mindset, fixed mindset. So I'm seeing it as a label now, and anything that is label puts the other person down. And so because we take pride in saying that I have a growth mindset, this person is like this. So we have to, with what Mommy Mo is saying and from the conversation so far, it just shows that we need to be careful how we see the other person, knowing fully well that either fixed or growth, that skill was developed growing up. So we can also have in a family, a child is just different from the siblings and very dogged. How? What happened? Is there an inborn? Do we have an inborn thing in that too? That's another question I would like to ask Mo when she gets back.
Okay.
And thank you very
Yes.
much, guys. Yeah. Thank you,
When I didn't
everyone,
see
for
her,
joining. Mm.
yeah, thank you, everyone. When I didn't see her, I thought I was the one in my own world.
Oh, okay.
Thank you
I'm
for
here.
for letting me know that I'm okay. So we are waiting for Mommy Mo
Yeah,
to join.
okay. It's Mommy Mo's
Yes,
internet.
network that
Hmm.
you are out. Yes. So really, you're correct. Most of the time, we put people in a mold, and we think, oh, this person can't. It's a forgotten case. Let's just leave him or her and let her just be. But I think the way we pass across information to people also matter. If we are
Very
able to
important.
let them see the value, yes, in what we are letting them see, it helps them to be able to embrace whatever we are passing across to them. So I think we
Yeah.
also need to work on that. And we can always apply that to relationships. Those who are married, those who are about getting married, parents, children, whatever relationship it is, we can actually apply
Teacher,
this,
teacher to
leave
students.
the people you
Did
see
you
value in that thing.
did you
Yes,
get that?
teacher
I
to
said teacher to
students,
students. Hmm.
you yes, I
Because we
got it.
have
I got
different
it indeed.
categories.
Yes, every
Hmm.
kind of relationship.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
So
was
you
saying that
just
we
let them
have
see the
different
value in what
categories.
you're trying to put across.
Hmm. Hmm. Mommy Mo is back.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
sorry
they took
about that. My
power.
power went off. Yes.
That's okay.
It's
This is Nigeria.
it's getting better and better.
Yeah,
Mm,
it's getting
Okay.
better.
mm, yeah.
I
Yeah,
think you were
thank you for
saying
joining
something
back.
before.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Mommy Mo, I
So,
was
Before you went
saying
off,
that.
you were saying
Yeah, you were saying something, Mommy Mo. Let's continue with you.
okay. So, really, I was just saying that a growth mindset is something that everybody can have. A growth mindset is something that those of us who already have it need to be careful not to label those who don't have it as who they are. Because if they don't
Hmm.
have a growth mindset presently, all that is showing us is that it has not been modeled for them. They have not been exposed to it.
Hmm.
They have not been nurtured to have it. And
Hmm.
it's an opportunity for us to hold their hands and bring them along with us. Because
Amazing.
when many people see me and they feel that, Mommy Mo is the epitome of growth mindset, what they don't realize is that literally I have 60 plus years of living that way.
So it's an
So,
overtime. Hmm.
yeah, childhood exposure to a lot of books, reading, being allowed to have a mind of my own, education in schools that encourage this and everything. So, of course, how won't I be that way now after having so many years of practice? Compare me to somebody who only got to begin to hear of growth mindset 5 years ago.
there you go.
Even if
That's
they're
true.
my
True.
age, it would be unfair to look at them and then to say, to use me and say, but look at Mommy Mo, a woman the same age as you, see what she's doing. No, we can't do that.
Indeed.
So we can't
Oh,
continue to label people. We should understand that we grow into having that kind of a mindset. We grow into it. It is not. So I was asking Ayo a question when your network went off. That
Okay.
we also have a situation where in a family you have three children and one of them is so dogged that that child is not a conformist. It's not conforming to the method the family is using. That's you know that there's always one child like that's very different. It's either in this side or the other side, but most of the time their doggedness help them to move fast. And I think we can now classify some of them into having the growth mindset because they're just like, no, I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to do it this way. Parents don't usually understand them. So can we say that to some extent, growth mindset is can also be nature as against
Hmm.
nurture because we have been talking about it being nurture
Yeah.
thing. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Here is what I would here is how I would respond to that. Have you ever seen a baby who was healthy that did not cry when it was born?
Mm-mm.
Have you ever seen a baby
No.
who, after it was born, the mother puts the breast to the mouth and the baby did not try to get the nipple? The baby may make
No.
mistakes and things like that. So when people say fixed mindset or growth mindset is nature, which means you either have it or you don't have it, I struggle with it. The way God created us, we are people who respond and adapt to change. So if a person, for example, had eyes before and something went wrong with their eyes, over time, their hearing adjusts to compensate for it. If you lose a limb, over time, your body adjusts to, to find a way of balancing you. So when you look at how we are naturally, it is hard for me to accept that the fixed mindset is, the mindset that you have. In fact, even from when you look at the word mindset, does anybody come with any mindset when God created them and they landed in the world?
It's a
Everything that
disposition.
they have is something that they picked up immediately after their birth. If you look at a baby, if a baby smiles all of the time, watch out. The carer who spends the most time with that child is a smiler.
Smiles.
Mm.
So I wouldn't say, the only thing that I can say is your early life contributes significantly to whether you grow, you develop a growth mindset. It contributes significantly to it. But that one was born with a fixed mindset or a growth mindset, I struggle to accept that.
Awesome. Thank you
So
for
for
that. Thank you for that. It's a learned behavior. It's a learned
It
behavior.
is.
yeah,
And the
I
environment
just
determines, the environment and the handlers are
Yeah.
major determinants. Thank you very much, Mommy Mo. Yeah, Ayo, you wanted to say something?
I just wanted to just to corroborate what Mommy Mo said, that whatever or whoever we become is as a result of, she said it, the environment wherein we grew up in, the things we saw while growing up. So if I grew up in an environment wherein I'm allowed to explore, I'm allowed to thrive, I'm allowed to do researches on my own, I'm allowed to read far, read wide, definitely the world will be different from the way someone who didn't grow up in that kind of environment. So we need to extend grace to people even in our lives, as we go about our daily activities. Those people that we think, oh, they should know. How can you say you've not heard of Abraham Lincoln? How can you say that? How can you say you've not heard of, Theodore Roosevelt? How can you say that? In this world, where have you been? There are people who haven't. Because you have read far and wide, does not mean that everybody on earth has read far and wide. And like Mommy Mo said, there are times that we too, we had, at some point in our lives, we didn't know some things. We learned some things. We grew. So we need to extend grace to other people, trusting that with time. And that was why I said it's important we always let the people in our lives see the value in that which we are trying to pass across to them. Because when they see the value, with time they will open up their heart and say, you know what, let me even see what I was trying to say. Let me even give what Mommy Mo is trying to say a go. There was something Mommy Mo told me last year that I've moved away from the fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So you choose to say, oh, let me see let me just take it on and see how it pans out. And then if the dividend begins to come, it's like, oh, good. Thank God I shifted a little bit, to do that which is now serving me at this point in time. So yes, really, where we grew up, how we grew up, really, really has a lot to do with how we see life and how we go generally. Yeah,
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
wanted to
But
say.
but let,
Thank you,
let, let
mommy.
me
Well,
add
okay.
let me add this
Okay,
so that
ma'am.
people don't go away thinking it's not my fault. This is what I was exposed to. Everyone in today's world, you just need to understand. Expose your mind to different things. And when we say expose your mind to different things, expose your mind to things that challenge your thinking. So, for example, listening to a program like this is challenging your thinking. So,
Yeah.
it's very easy for you to listen and to be saying, hey, it's good for them to be saying that. But then, once you find yourself in the mode of, it's good for them to be saying that, just press the pause button and ask
Hmm.
yourself, why am I thinking that way? Why am I not
Speak.
listening to what they're saying? One of the reasons I teach by text and I like to use text to work with people is because, if we're talking now, somebody can very easily switch off and say, I don't want to listen to them. If you're reading a book has no emotions. It won't get upset with you. If you put it down, you close it, and you go away. When you come back again, what it said before is what it's going to
You
say
hate
in
them.
exactly the same way. And if you close the book 10 times and you come back to it again, it is you who will shift eventually. Because once you're reading the book, your mind will start thinking, what if this thing is true? Okay, let me even look at what it is saying. And gradually, your mind is shifting. So, regardless of what you are exposed to growing up, it is now your responsibility
Hmm.
to develop a growth mindset by yourself. And there are ways you can do it by reading things that are different from what you are familiar with, by listening to people who are different from the ones that you have been listening to before, by exposing yourself to things that before now you would not agree with, just for the sake of hearing what the other people are thinking, so that you can see the world through other people's eyes. You owe it
Nice.
to
Yes.
yourself to do that and expand your mind and grow yourself.
Hmm. Wow. Thank you, mommy
Thank you
Mo.
so much, ma. Thank you
You
so
know, as you were just talking, God, this is like a deliverance session.
the day.
Because I was just thinking how that fixed mindset can so sabotage us to the point that you will be justifying it. Growing up telling us that you're growing or you're changing or you're evolving, we don't even know. You don't even want to change your behavior because people will say, look at it, he has changed. You don't even want people to condemn you that you have changed. And so you want to stay where you are so that people will not say you have changed. Not knowing that change is part of life. And that is why some people will say, that is me, that is how I am. Because they see it as change, as, people will make jest of me or people will laugh at me. Change is growth. You are evolving. We should evolve. And this is what I'm taking away from here. That's one of the lessons I'm taking away from here to say that we will evolve, we will change. And it is because of the way, because I was just thinking as we were talking, growing up, we had my uncles, my aunties live in the house, and you will see your brother or your sister do something, they will like, oh my God, it changed, that kind of, they say it in a very sarcastic way, and so you are afraid to even change so that they won't say that kind, they won't throw that kind of expression about you. Wow.
Join
Upbringing is so key. Momo, I believe we have a lot of parents in the house here. Can you please just talk to, because God, we have so boxed ourselves up with this upbringing thing that
Let,
and it has
let,
damaged a lot of people.
Let
I
let
believe you
me sh-
understand what I'm saying, ma'am.
Mhm. Yeah. Let me share
Okay.
use the illustration I usually help use to help people to understand this. So I wasn't prepared, so I can't show you the phones. When GSM first came into the country, I bought a Samsung phone. It was the top of the range at the time. But the only
I
thing
can
that it could
imagine.
do was make calls and do SMS.
Hmm.
Fast forward now to 20 years later, I'm still using a Samsung phone made by the same organization, but now a different Samsung phone that can surf the internet. I can be live like this. I can do 1,001 things. You know, being afraid to change is like saying, even though everybody is now using the modern Samsung phone, I'm still going to be using the one I bought in 2002. It's okay for me to choose to use that phone. But now that banks say we should no longer come to the banking hall, how will I use that phone to do that one?
Transfer.
Now that people are shopping online, how will I use that my 2002 Samsung phone to do? So there is a decision to grow or to acquire a growth mindset. There is also the growth mindset that the your external circumstances force on you. All the people who have been saying, I will be going to my bank, I will be going to my bank. In the past few days, when the bank has told us that they won't pay new notes on the counter, you have to figure out how to do your transactions.
Hmm.
So circumstances would also, so talking to parents, different, you've got to understand that the world is changing at a fast rate now, and the home is where your child begins to learn to respond to that change. So instead of just saying, who asked you to look into that? What do you mean? You have no business looking at that. Why don't you say, what is this new thing that you are on about? I don't know about it. Can you explain it to me? That way, you are supporting your child to be curious, and you are still retaining the capacity to direct them so that they don't go astray.
Hmm. Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mommy Mo. Yeah, AY, any question for Mommy Mo?
I don't think I have any question for her. I would have said she should speak to parents, but you've taken that up, and I think she's done justice, to that. I was actually saying something, yes, before you asked her that question. That life is about choices. When Mommy Mo was talking about the nurturing part of it, that regardless of our nurturing, it's our responsibility to develop a growth mindset. So it's a choice at the end of the day. So you might have grown in the village under the stone or whatever. You still have a choice to say, you know what, this is the way I've always been, but I am choosing to become better. I am choosing to, you know, um, live a life that brings out the best out of me at the end of the day. So it's my choice, irrespective of how I grew up, irrespective circumstances surrounding me.
Yeah.
I should make a choice, to change. And it's when I make a choice to change that it's going to be lasting. When I choose, to change, to work on myself, to begin to grow, to learn, to relearn and unlearn, then it's going to be lasting. So I
Hmm.
just wanted to add that to it. I think Mommy Mo can give us a last word if Ebon
Before
doesn't
Mommy
have
Mo
any
do
more
the last
questions
word,
to
this
ask.
this thing you just said, before Mommy Mo do the last word, this thing you just said is like a trigger for me, saying that it is still our choice, our inaction, our action, our choices, right? Hmm. So I was having a conversation with a senior friend recently, and she was just like, Ebun, whatever amount you have in your account, it is your choice. I was just like, why will you say that? I want to make more money. You can't tell me that. How do I want? And I saw a need for deep courage, So, Mommy Mo, this thing that AY just said now has triggered something in me. Is it is it really that we can use that word choice for people that does not really have the know-how? That some decisions, some steps, some way to go is in their blind spot. They are really making effort in their own way. You know, they are trying,
Mm.
and I don't know. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Let me share a personal example. So people see me online and they see all of the things that I have to do, that I do. You know, here is what happens. It's two sides of the coin. So there
Mm,
is who you are and who you, because things were not shown to you. There is also who you are now that you are an adult, who is self-responsible and self-accountable, who has to educate yourself about whatever it is. When I wanted to be passionate about helping people with their marriages, what happened to me was that I had a young man who told me that, Ma, if you want to do it, you have to be online. And so that's where choice was. I could say, what do you mean? I cannot be online. No, what will I be doing? And so on and so forth. Essentially, I made the choice to do that. But when I made the choice and also said, okay, if we are to meet the young people is to be online, please show me, how do I be online? What do I need to do? How do I do? I, when people, that's what I call the no-brainer gap. When people see me today, and for those people who I am mentoring, when they want to do the things I've done now, I usually share with them. The first thing I say to them is, see, it will be difficult. And don't worry, it is difficult because you have never walked that road before. But if you continue walking that road, you will become familiar with it. Now, when that has been shown to you, you you have the choices before you to say, Mommy Mo doesn't want to show me what she's doing, or what she has shown me is too difficult, and then you decide to stay where you are, or to say, I don't know how it's going to be, but let me start trying. We can't take away that every single individual that God made that is
mm,
alive comes to that point again and again and again in their lives where they have to make the decision that, I don't know how this will be. I don't even know the question. So you find yourself in a situation where you need to do things and people say, okay, so what do you want to do? You can't even explain to them what it is you want to do because that's a path you've not walked before. However, if you are somebody who has chosen that I need to figure out a way, one way, shall you be telling people what you want? People will be piecing what you are telling them together, and somebody will finally understand it and show you the way to go. So in the illustration that you gave, yes, the amount of money in your account is determined by you. How? What your capacity to make money in a down economy is presently limited. You can say economy, all these things Buhari is doing, and so on and so forth. Or you can say, if the economy is this way, what are the options that are open to me?
that we have.
And it doesn't mean that that will immediately translate to cash in your account, but it
True.
will open your eyes to ways and things that you do not know before. When I started marriage counseling, everybody thought you could not make money. But you and I know that we are now making money from it. It is
Yeah.
still the same
True.
thing. It is when we decided that money can be made from marriage counseling. That's when we
Serving
started looking for
others.
clients who could afford to pay. I don't think those clients were hidden away before. They were there. It was just
They are
us
there.
who did not have the
Who
capacity.
didn't say?
We were too focused on the people who cannot pay. And we thought that the people who cannot pay made the whole world. Now we know that the people who cannot pay are there, and the people who can pay are there. And we are now making the people who can pay to pay, and we are using the profit of people who have paid to help the people who cannot pay.
To finance. True.
As the
True.
That's
trigger
where
gone
the
off.
choice is. That's where the choice is in our hand.
Oh, thank you, Mommy Mo. So I picked from there that fine, it is in your blind spot, but when you realize you can still make a change. It is still the choice to ask questions, to seek more knowledge on how to go about things and all. Yeah, thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Mommy Mo.
Uh,
Thank you
you so
so
much.
much. Yeah.
Any last
So in
words?
rounding up, yeah, your last words, ma. Mama, I'm sure we're gonna have you back here again very soon, ma.
all right, then it will be my pleasure. What are my last words? Whether you currently find yourself with a fixed growth mindset or with a fixed mindset or a growth mindset, here is a routine I ask people to do. Like once every quarter, just sit yourself down and ask yourself these questions. Question number one: what are the things that I believe seriously? Question number two: where did I get those beliefs from? Question number three: are there people in this world who don't believe those things? Question number four: is
Hmm.
their life necessarily worse for not believing it? So, four questions again. What are the things I believe passionately? Two, where did those beliefs come from? Three, are there people in this world who don't believe the same things as me? Four, is their life necessarily worse for it? Usually, when I find out that there are people who don't believe what I believe and think my life depends on, and their life is not worse than my own, I start to question that belief. And I explore it and find out what else there is to do.
Wow.
Because if people
Wow.
don't believe what
Wow.
I believe and their
Amazing.
life is not worse than my own, then it means that that
Mm-hmm.
belief is not as sacred as I thought it
It's
was.
not serving you. Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely, Mommy Mo. Absolutely. Wow. 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 That's
So
deep.
I encourage people to just question yourself
Hmm.
that way once, like once every 3 months. If you do it, you're going to begin to see a lot of the blind spots that you have. You begin to recognize them. It may take you time to get to the place where you will now take the action. And that's why I said do it quarterly, because if you are doing such a reflection quarterly, after some time, you will find yourself in a place where you'll be thinking, Dupe, you cannot lie to yourself. Even if you can lie to other people, you can't lie to yourself.
Hmm. Wow. Hmm.
Wow.
Thank you very
It's
much,
true.
Mommy
We can't
Mo.
lie to ourselves.
It's been an amazing one. We can't lie to ourselves. The choice is ours. You can't keep saying, it is because of where I was brought up from. Look at other people. What are they doing differently? You should ask questions. Life is changing. It is okay to change. It is okay. You're changing, you're evolving. You're changing. So don't hold on to the way you were brought up thinking that is the only way. There is always a way to everything. Thank you very much. Yeah. What else did I hear you talk about today? Growth mindset is a model, and as parents, we should learn to model the right thing. We should also know that the world is changing. And so, if our children are interacting outside and they are bringing ideas, trying to practice it at home, be curious to know what it is you're doing. In your curiosity, you're able to even guide them. You're learning and you're able to even guide them to also know how to handle information, that how to filter the information they are getting from outside. Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Morimo.
for
Like
having
I
me.
said,
Thank you.
we're still gonna have you back. Word of knowledge. Deep, deep, deep ones. Aya, over to you.
Yes. Yes, thank you so much, Mommy Mo, for choosing, to do this and to share with us and even our audience tonight. And I know that as we come back to this video to watch, even after now, they'll be able to glean so many things that would impact the way they begin to live life um, after now. So, would like say thank you once again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And
Sorry, please,
God
before you
bless.
round up, I
God
don't
bless.
know if Mommy Mo.
Mommy Mo, sorry,
Hello.
Ebo. I intentionally said God bless. And I think Mommy Mo, did you catch the did you catch the joke? I don't think Ebo caught the joke. She has not gone
No,
with
I
the heart
don't.
to no, you
I
don't.
don't.
Go on the chat, then you catch the gist. So Mommy
Okay.
Mo, actually part of the growth mindset we're talking about when on our professionals group, someone dropped the link to Chat GPT, and I think Momimo was one of the first few people that latched onto it. So she was sharing with us her conversation with Mr. AI overnight. When when they were done, she now signed off by saying, "God bless you." And ChatGPT responded, "I am not, I am not
I'm not
a
a
being.
human being, I'm a
I'm
machine.
not a human being. I don't need blessings. A machine. I
Now
don't
I
need
get.
blessings."
Now I get.
That was why I was very
Yeah,
emphatic,
so
Mommy. Well, God bless you.
so as we round up, I don't know if Mommy Mo is seeing the comments. I just want to read one or two of the comments. Somebody said, Mommy Mo, full of wisdom, really amazing. Regardless of our nurturing, it is your responsibility to develop a growth mindset. Somebody said, yes, ma, embracing and navigating positive change requires taking a decision first. And somebody said, great discourse. Somebody said, this is a really insightful session. Thank you, Mommy Mo, our incredible host and co-host. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. It's just to let Mommy
Thank you
Mo know
so
that
much,
some people
everybody.
are following, and
Thank
we have quite a
you.
number of chats in the comment section. And we really appreciate you all for always joining in. We look forward to having you next month. It's going to be another amazing and educative session. And again, Mommy Mo, we can't thank you enough. God bless you, Ma. I'm saying it
Thank you
again.
for
We're so
having
used
me.
to it. We're so used to it.
Thank you very much
Yeah.
for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Have a
Ma.
good night rest,
And have a
everyone.
beautiful rest
And
of the
God bless.
evening. Bye.
Bye. Yes,